Okay, so on sheet 3, number 2, the top one, looks like you guys were solid. I didn't really see many questions there. Number 3, your parabola focused directrix question. What you can always do is take this equation and underneath it, write down the general equation and then pull the information from it. So number 3, you would have had a vertex located at 2, -1, and then a p-value equals 1. I'll put that there in case you'd like it. Oh, I did it right down here, actually. So this right here is your vertex, which is at 2, -1. And then you have a p-value equals 1. How do I know that? Because this represents 4 times p. So I divide by 4. And then that's where the p equals 1 came from. It's positive, so that means your parabola is going to open upwards, and then you just sketch a little picture. Sketch a picture count, and then your focus is going to be 1 unit up from your vertex. So this is your focus point right there. You can always use graph paper to do that too if you'd like. So that will always be in the back for you. So the first 2, I think we're done. Number 5, let's go through that one together. Number 5 is a challenging question. There are a couple ways that you can approach this. So on number 5, it says, which is the solution set? So I have a fraction right here equal to 5. I did see some of you factor this, which is a great thing to start with, but you would have gotten stuck. So that's the issue with factoring it. So if you factor top and bottom. So instead, try this approach. I'm going to go over 1 and cross multiply. So I'm going to take this trinomial and multiply it through by the 5. I'm looking for some space. This is going to take up some. So we have on the left the 3a squared plus 2a minus 5 equal to 5a squared plus 15a minus 20. And this is similar to one that you did yesterday. When you have a squared, what do we want this equal to? 0. So you're going to take these terms and shift them over to this side. Okay, so I have 5a squared minus 3a squared, which is 2a squared. I have 15a minus 2a, which would be 13a. And I have negative 20 plus 5, which would be negative 15, equals 0. So that helps a ton. Now from here, what you're going to do is see if this does AC factoring. So you would multiply to be negative 30 and add to 13. So this works. I'm going to go 2a squared and minus 2a plus 15a and minus 15. And then you're going to split it right down the middle. And you're going to take out a 2a. You're left with a minus 1. Take out a 15, and you are left with a minus 1. Factors into 2a plus 15 and a minus 1. And then t-chart. One possible answer is going to be 1. And the other possible answer would be 2a equals negative 15. And divide by 2, divide by 2. So negative 15 over 2. Now, you have to also be careful. You're going to see that choice 2 and 3 are very similar. Choice 2 is just one solution. Choice 3 is 2 solutions. What do you have to remember to do with a question like this at the end? You have to check it. If you plug these in and they produce a value in your denominator equal to 0, you have to reject it. So if I plug this 1 in, 1 squared is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And then minus 4. What does that produce in the denominator? A 0. Yeah, so that one's undefined. You want to make sure that you do check for those. So I reject the 1. And then I get a solution of choice 2. That is a difficult question. Because even if you get everything correct down to the end, but you forget to check, you're still going to lose your points. So be very, very careful. Any question where you have variables in the denominator, you need to check. I will remind you of that on Monday. Number 12 is also what might look like a difficult question, but you're just looking for an output value. So we did one like this yesterday. So it says, what is the remainder when f of x is divided by x plus 2? What did we do with the sign yesterday when we were given the factor? Switch it, yeah? So you're going to look at -2 question. Well, yesterday what we did is synthetic division with -2. Is there anything in this question that allows you to do synthetic division? There is not. So what you're going to do is you're going to substitute this. So you're going to substitute it by simply going to -2 on your x-axis. So -2, I'm going to find it, which is here. And then what is the output value of the function there if I substituted it? Yeah, -6. That's it. That's your answer. Does that make sense? It's a substitution, but you actually have it graphed already. Now don't flip yet. Say for instance, this question asked you, is -2 a factor? What would you say? No, what did it not give you? 0. Yep. You can also say that this is not a factor. For something to give you a factor, to be a factor, it has to give you 0, either through synthetic or substitution or on a graph. Okay, so you are looking for 0 if it is a factor. So like this would be one that would work. This would be one that works. But those are in between values, obviously. Okay, is 12 better? So again, it's literally just looking for the output. So you're doing essentially a substitution just without a function raised. Let's see what else here. Number 15, was that one pretty easy? Long division. Again, I'm hoping you're seeing some repetition at this point. You're gonna have to do a long division on Monday. I'll tell you that. So answer to that one was choice 2. So 15 is choice 2. Number 16, I want to do this one with you because you're going to have to do one of these on your long answer. Determine the points of intersection. So let me find a clean sheet here. We did one yesterday, but I want to do one again. This right here represents a circle. And on the other side, this is a linear function. So this is just a line. And your procedure for 16 is going to be substitution, bless you. Always substitution when you got that circle. We're looking for where these cross. So we're going to take this 3x plus 20 and replace it right where you see the y squared. So what this gives me, I'm going to come over here. So I have x squared plus, I'm going to do a big parenthesis. We'll place that in there in a moment. And this is equal to 400. So I do 3x plus 20 squared. You can't shortcut this. You got to write that out twice and you got to do your multiplication. So I would have x squared plus, I'm going to go 3x plus 20, 3x plus 20 equal to 400. And now you're going to start multiplying. So I have x squared plus, all right, 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times 20 is 60x. And then 20 times 3x is another 60x. So I would have 120x. 20 times 20 is 400. So just like we did initially with us, like on your column on the front side, you want this equal to 0. What happens with the 400s? Yeah, those are gone. That's nice. So I really have here 10x squared plus 120x is equal to 0. and I'm going to GCF. So I'm going to remove a 10x, leaving me with x plus 12 equals 0. And now you're going to generate the two solutions that represent your points of intersection. So on the left here, I have 10x equals 0. So divide by 10, divide by 10. First answer is x equals 0. Over here, I go x plus 12 equals 0. Minus 12, so x is negative 12. Can we rule out any answers yet? Actually, I think you can. So it's negative 12, right? So you're done. So it would work out to be choice 2. I'm sorry, choice 3. If you needed to show the work, you would just continue on and do this. So I would go y is equal to 3x plus 20 and substitute in. We would have y equals 3 times 0 plus 20. So that's where this answer came from. So this one is 0, 20. And then your other guy, you would go y is equal to 3 times negative 12 plus 20. So therefore, y would be equal to negative 16. And then your second answer is negative 12, negative 16. That's a good long answer type question. So make sure you're prepared to do one of those types Tuesday. So long answer type. How was 17? You know, I didn't really see anyone mention 17. What you kind of want to do on this one, and then I'll give you the answer, is you want to just start plugging values in. So you would do 3 times 2 raised to the 1 minus 1, get a number. You would do it again. And then what you would do is go through these answers and figure out which one generated that pattern. So my first term is 3. I multiplied to get 6. So that should have been choice 4. So this is your constant multiplier of 2. So that was doubling. 17, okay, guys? 22. Go back so you can check. Again, I don't really think I saw anyone mention that one either. We've done a lot of these. So it says, what is not true? So is the amplitude equal to 2? Yes, because amplitude is never negative. Never negative. I'm going to add something to this question just to have you review it. Y-intercept will come back to that. Is the range equal to 4, 8? Yes, you do midline plus amplitude, midline minus amplitude. Period is equal to 2 pi over frequency, change flip. And this 2 times 4 right here does give you 8, so that one does work. All right, how is 22? Okay, lastly. So number 6, identify the focus and the directrix. Again, directly underneath this. The negative 2 becomes 2. The negative 3 becomes a vertex value of 3. 8 stands for 4p, indicating that p is equal to 2. It's positive, so that means it's going to open up like this. And then all you have to do is sketch this picture. So put your vertex, go up 2, down 2, focus, and then directrix beneath it. Okay. And again, you're welcome to do those on graph paper. It's always in the back of the room if you need that as well. How are we feeling there? Pretty good? Okay. Of all of these types of questions, what do you think you need more practice on? Is there anything that jumps out for somebody that they want to ask? Or I can do this. Let me run through some topics. You guys tell me yes or no. So first I want to ask, otherwise I'll give you a bunch and you can kind of sit and work on some of these if you'd like. So how are we on a question like this? 7 minus how's that type? Good, bad? Good. Okay. Write it down if you want it, because it's just extra practice. I'll skip that one then. How about like a long division type? How are those? Long division are pretty good? I would agree with you there. Long division, probably okay. Let's see what else here. Probably those algebraic ones that are the worst. How about quadratic formula? So how about if you were told to solve, let's go 3x squared plus 2x plus 7 equals 0. How would something like that be okay, or do you want to do it? That's good? Okay. Again, write these down because in a couple of minutes, anything we don't go over, you can sit and work on for sure. Max and min are probably okay. We're going to do this. Number 4, make sure you can do a maximum minimum type question with a trig function. So max and min from a trig function, trig equation, yes, I should say rather. Again, interrupt at any point and say, I want one of those. Let's do an end behavior. I'm going to say this. I want you to do this one for sure. So state end behavior. Okay. In order to do end behavior, you must have a graph. So you need a picture. So I'm going to give you a function and I want you to practice typing this in your calculator. So I want to go f of x equals x to the 4th, I don't know, plus 1. So you're going to type in your calculator right now, x to the 4th plus 1, and you're going to get a sketch. This one's kind of like this, give or take. Now to do end behavior, I'm going to look at what do the ends of the graph do as I head left and right from 0. So let's do left first, I guess. So I'm going to say as x approaches negative infinity. So what does that mean in words? This means as you go left of 0, what is my graph doing as I go left of 0? Increasing or decreasing? Increasing. And how do I write that mathematically? So it's increasing. What your brain is thinking. I would say f of x approaches what? Infinity. Yeah, positive infinity. Just like that. Now we have to do the other side because again, this graph has 2 ends, left and right. So now I'm going to say as x approaches infinity. So basically, as I go to the right of 0, again, translation right of 0, then what is that graph, that side of the graph doing? Increasing or decreasing? Increasing. How do I denote that? What do I say? Positive infinity. Perfect. How do we feel with that type? Okay. That one we discussed. How are we feeling on factoring? You guys got that under control? Do you need any factoring? Again, happy to do them if you want some. Make sure you can factor. What question number was I on? 6? Thank you. Just in case you're keeping track here. Be able to factor things like this. You know, be able to factor something like that. Be able to factor something like this. Be able to do like your grouping, you know, so on and so forth. I think I'm going to give you one of these actually. This is a trig question. I think we're a little bit weak in this area still. So I'm going to give you cosine of theta is equal to 3/4 in quadrant 1. And I want you to find sine theta. So in this case, you're going to sketch a picture. So I have a right triangle in quadrant 1. Theta. Okay. How do I label this? What does the 3 represent? It's cosine. Adjacent. Yeah. And what does the 4 represent? Hypotenuse. Good. And now I want you to find sine of theta, which is equivalent to opposite over hypotenuse. What do we have to find? Do you have all 3 sides of your triangle? No, you got to find the missing one because you need the opposite side. How do you go about doing that? A squared, yep, plus b squared equals c squared. Excellent. So 3 could be my a, b could be my unknown, and my hypotenuse must be the c. So I have a 9 plus b squared equals 16. Minus 9 minus 9. So we have b squared equals 7. And then you're going to square root it and then just leave it alone. So this is the square root of 7. So it's irrational. You don't need to do anything further with it. Now you can answer the question. Sine of theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. The last thing you check for, and this is what gets forgotten all the time, is A, S, T, C. And what do we know about sine in quadrant 1? Positive. Yep. Don't forget that last step. I'm putting the positive there again, just so that you know we did check for it. Your last main concept on Monday is your variable system. Is everyone comfortable doing your matrix to check your answers? We're good? Okay. I'm thinking what else? I think I'm going to, unless, do you need another parabola directrix? Yeah, okay. Let's say you have directrix of a parabola is y equals -6. And I'm going to tell you this. X minus 4 squared and equals 12. And then I want to go y plus 3. So that's your equation. And I want you to find the focus point. I did give you a graph to do these type of questions so that you can do this accurately. I think that helps tremendously. So from this equation, what can I obtain immediately? Vertex. Yep. Where's this vertex located at? 4, good, 4, -3. Again, give another piece of information before you go further. What does the 12 represent in the formula? 4 times p, good. So I go 4 times p equals 12. Divide by 4. So p is equal to 3. The parabola is going to open upwards. I also know that because of the formula, and it has x squared on it. Now you're going to generate your picture because I really don't believe you can be successful doing this without it. So I'm going to just make a little sketch. Again, you will be provided with graph paper. Vertex is 4, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. My directrix is -6. 4, 5, 6. This is my directrix. Remember your parabola, when you draw it, cannot cross that line. So my parabola looks like this. And we determined the p-value was 3. So this distance here is 3. So now use that fact and go up. 3. And here's your focus point. And the focus point is located at 4, 0. How's the parabola, Bennett? Oh, again, it's all about the visual on that one and making sure you understand your vocab, which I think you guys do. I'm thinking, is there anything else? Anything else you guys can think of that you'd like to ask? Okay, so then I'm going to give you some time to do this. You have those 2 additional assignments that are optional in Delta Math. Pull those out, start working on some of those problems, and let me know where you have questions. Or you're welcome to do those 6 problems that I wrote on the board that we didn't go through. You've got about 10 minutes. Again, when you come in Monday, you're going to do your 10 multiple choice. Tuesday, you're going to do your 5 long answer questions. Then that's it. It's a nice scaled back midterm. We did shorten it just to, again, get you used to taking tests. Nothing unreasonable. I think you know what to expect. And then we'll move back into exponents afterwards when you return the following week. All right, so again, you've got those 2 optional Delta Math assignments. Pick and choose topics. If something's real solid for you, skip it. And if something needs more work, then start there.